Yo, what's going on, guys? It's SMS with NFT and me, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the 3 to 30 soul challenge, and if you're looking to make 30 soul, go ahead and like the video right here, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned because I'm going to be updating you every single week with a recap of all of the trades, all the projects, and just a little bit of talk about the Solana ecosystem and where it's headed. But today we're going to dive into it, just kind of going over the last week, all the trades that I got into, the projects, and just tell you a little bit about that. One thing I do want to point out right now, there are going to be trades that run up way further than what you sold them at, and it's going to suck. But you got to remember that if you were to stick in that trade and get halfway to your challenge, you lost all of those learning lessons that maybe the next challenge doesn't go that way, and you're stuck and you don't know what to do, and you have more soul to lose at that point. So keep that in mind. Let's have our learning lessons when we start learning here in the beginning stages, and then once you get to those bigger numbers, you know how to navigate these kinds of decisions. For instance, the Ghost Kid DAO. It's an amazing project. I picked it up very early, and I made, I think it was like 0.6 or something like that, or 0.4, I can't remember exactly, but we made profit and I flipped it. It's up to 12 soul right now, so I missed out on 10 soul. Yes, it sucks, but I'm telling you, it's going to be much more valuable going through the process and learning how to do this step by step. People that mint and hit 100x, that's great. But if you didn't learn anything, and if you're not a seasoned investor or collector or anything to do with this, then I feel like that's more of a detriment than it is a gain, because that money can go just as quick as you earned it. Learning this way, you start to see the value of the process and what it takes to get there, and know when to take profits and have fun. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to get straight into it.
Alright guys, if you're brand new to NFTs, this is Magic Eden's platform, and you're able to have your wallet and everything loaded up, and you can see what you have in there. We hit 4.34, we've been holding that for the last couple of hours as the floor value, and you can see what I have left in here. The gators are at 2.25, and the Cool Kid Society is at 2.09. Both have been a little bit higher. They've pulled back just a hair, and that's absolutely fine. That's what happens with this, but we are up. If you were to sell right now, that wouldn't be a bad idea. But these have a lot more room to run, and we're going to take a look at the chart so we can show you exactly where I see that going. And the reason why there are some catalysts are there are cool tools coming up from the Cool Kid Society, and they're also going to be implementing staking. And once all of those come into effect, you're going to see a supply shock where the listing goes down and the price runs up. And that's where we're going to exit out and take our liquidity. And if this pulls back, maybe we buy another one. And just kind of trade it, rinse and repeat. We'll be able to see some channels and levels that we want to enter and exit going forward. The other one that we have is the Ganja Gators, and the reason that I bought into this one was because I was on another Discord and I saw some tips about alpha, and they were talking about a lot of heavy influencers backing this. So I saw that, I knew it was a risky play, but that's what a lot of these are, but I jumped into it. I sold 2 of the Cool Kid Society for this. If you were to look at it this way, that's a bad idea because I would be up. But if Ganja Gators catch fire and they go to what's expected between 5 to 10, I'd be happy with that too. It's just the way you can't look at it like, oh, what if? You look at it as in, what can I do? What do I have on the plate right now? The main thing is to keep liquidity rolling and buying and selling. Don't getting too attached, because as of right now, I love the artwork and I like the story behind both of these. I could see myself holding them. But then if this goes back in value, you're going to lose. Let's say you held it for 3 months and you never hit the highs again. You'd be pretty upset thinking back on that. So again, don't look back on it. Look at what you have now, and at that point, you're probably wrapped into the community. But other than that, we're going to take a look at the charting and see where the Cool Kid Society is at right now. So let me flip the screen real quick. And here we go. I put a couple lines on here so I can show you. So once I got into this right around here, I guess actually right around here, I was at like the 0.9999 or whatever it was. That's when I bought in, and it pulled back just a little bit here. But when I was looking at this, we were setting higher lows, and I was tweeting about this, and you can pull that up to take a look. And I just saw the progression here look good, and then I was watching this right here. The listing goes up and down, and then you see the price action. So once we got to this point right here, it started coming back down. It was just these people taking profits, or these people down here probably taking the profits, which is absolutely fine to see. And a new project, there's other mints going on which affect it as well. Then it ran up to all-time high at the point, which was 1.48. I was working and I wasn't able to sell. I would have sold them had I been able to. And then it came back down here, consolidated, which is great to see. That means people weren't buying, or there weren't more people selling than buying. It was staying pretty even. Maybe people were just holding at that point. And then guess this is when people started seeing more about the alpha. It starts to run up, and you can just see the gradual listing going down. More people are buying, more people are holding, and then you can see here, like, people started noticing the trends, and the trend is your friend. So once you see a wedge, if you can draw lines where the bottoms touch here and then the tops are going in this direction, you can kind of see that forms what we call a bullish pendant breakout. And usually it comes out about there, comes down, consolidates, slowly grows. This is really good to see. This is like a natural growth. And then you get up here where it kind of seems to go parabolic. That's a whole bunch of listings going down. Somebody came in and swept, and then you can start to see the same kind of formation starting again here. You're getting a little triangle. And once this does form that triangle, it could come out to here, or it could, be a smaller one. You could see this probably, a little bit better this way. You keep seeing these movements here, and then it starts to move up and move up. Right now, it looks like the all-time high for this was, pull it back up here, about 2.3, 2.4, something like that. And we're at, what's the floor value right now? It says 2.14. So it could easily break that tonight. That's something to keep your eye on. This is definitely not an entry point. If you see this come back to these green lines right here that seem to be support and resistance lines, if we come back down here and test 1.89, that might be a chance to get into. If it drops lower, you're going to be seeing like levels. It's basically going to be like 5s and 10s that they drop, like 0.6 there, 1.4. It's a bigger drop, but take a look at that. That's where you're going to be able to find your entries and exits. I'll keep you guys up to date on that. But let's jump over to the conjugators chart. It's not the most beautiful chart. It does show a little bit of struggle here, but the good thing is that we're seeing the bottom being found. So this came down. That was the original bottom. Ran up here. That could have been a good buy and flip if you were anywhere in here. Even right here, you're still making some profit. So a lot of people sold off here. A lot of other projects were going on, bigger mints. They take attention away from projects. Comes all the way down here, and that's when people start just selling off. They're like, oh, this is going FUD, 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 FUD. And then we hit our bottom here. That's when I jumped in. And then we run up here to 2.42, 2.5-ish or so. And that could have been your exit. Most people did. And then they brought it all the way back down to 1.3. And I was honestly considering, I was like, do I get more of these? Do I put this into my other wallet? Because there is a lot of sustainable momentum behind this with the influencers and the backing that it does have. There's big names involved with the iced knife was giving one away. So there's a lot of eyes on this, and I think that it can do good. And it has weed. It's talking about weed. NFTs and weed are just like a gold mine. All right, so we found this bottom right here, and it just went up. Consolidating a little bit here. If we zoom in, you can kind of see it goes down here, touches, and then now we're here. But the good thing you're seeing right here, see when this ran up last time, you didn't see a lot of listings going down. It was just buying pressure. Here is the listings are starting to decrease. So once we get back to these points right here, you'll be able to see this price action run back up that way. So I think this is going to play out pretty well. You might be able to see inverse cup and handle kind of thing going on, or a cup and handle, whichever you want to call it, and then it might take off from there. But I think I'm going to hold on to this one. If I was to cut this, since we are at an average of about 2.2 or so, I would look to hopefully cut it maybe at this first or second spot. Probably not this, because you're not making much with that, the fees. But 2.93, that would be a good exit just for this. If you didn't want to hold, if you believe in it, I think this is going to double that. So that's an absolute, possibility. Who knows? Let's see it play out. Main thing is, guys, have fun, be safe with your trading, and make sure you take profits.